She said that American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart. They don't know the game. They don't understand.
Gio.
That guy gazpacho.
Bournemouth can take a lame gorilla, okay?
Right, did you know that Arsenal died?
These got me buzzing.
Up the Toffees. It's hard to up them anyway.
I'm not even gonna comment on that.
So talented.
Welcome back to Footy with the boys. We have some amazing news for all of our fellow Toffees, joined here by my co-hosts Nick and Mike. We're going to be running through it all today. Headlines, Manchester Derby coming up. We got you guys set with a preview there. Couple loser go home games, some real prove it ones with some teams that are in some real must-win situations if they want to be where they need to be. Then we got Mike Tracy hitting you with the Toffee talk. A very timely talk because us Toffees are feeling nice right now. The US men's national team will get you updated. There was an announcement tonight that was weirdly publicized on TNT NBA Countdown. We'll get into what that was. And then we have Producer P's question. So make sure you tune out for that if you are under the age of 18, because that will probably be something you've never heard before.
I actively select,
but of course,
no, this video is not for kids when I post these.
Good.
Anyone that has a Producer P question should come with a adult advisory warning. It's not even just 18 plus, it should be like 35. You got to be done with life.
I bring the
you have
culture.
to see some shit.
I bring the class.
Done with life at 35.
You got to have experienced a lot. It's downhill from that question on, so you have
Burning
to
at
live
both ends, bro.
a good amount, you know? But listen. Palmer's question is one thing, but we have much bigger fish to fry. And those fish are the point deduction that Everton got early this season. They lost 10 points, and they got fucked. They were put into a relegation battle, and it was a battle. They seemed to get out of it pretty quick, and then they were just back in it for a long time. But just a day or two ago, Everton was announced that they had appealed, and they had won that appeal. Their 10-point penalty dropped to 6 points penalty. They get 4 points back, and those 4 points, Mike, those hit like a sweet, fresh batch of Walter White's meth right there. That was some pure blue right there. We are looking rather clean 5 points up from that relegation zone, ahead of Brentford and Nottingham Forest, when we were struggling to be ahead of just Luton Town. Mike, when that storyline hit in the morning, first thing I woke up as I saw it, what were you doing? Where were you when Everton got their appeal?
In bed, of course. Woke up, first thing I saw. And we're staying up. We're staying up. That's what I could. That's what. Someone was calling to me in my ear when I was in the dreams. Had to check my phone and Twitter notification. We got 4 points back. 4 more than I expected. I really thought we would get nothing out of it. 2 of the 9 grounds that were part of the sanction were upheld. So still 6 points remaining on the deduction. But the 4 are huge, and they put us safely in 15th. Safe for the moment, at the very least. So I'll take it.
Yep. I think 5 points clear of Luton, and Nottingham Forest and Brentford now below us, although not by much, makes me feel a lot safer than how we were competing with Luton right below us. Gives us a little sigh of relief, us Toffees, and I think, god damn it, we deserve that. It will hit like, I don't know, something bad when Everton then gets their second penalty with Nottingham Forest, then we end up going down again. We're going to hope that just doesn't happen, but man, right now,
I read that those charges are likely not to be brought until after the season is over. So if we survive and then they put us down after the fact, that's going to really, really suck. But that's another day.
Yeah, that you worry about that in the future. Right now, we are loving life. We are in 15th. We just got 4 points, more than a win. That's better than a win. And, you know, those missed points at Brighton aren't looking too bad right now. We got our draw, 5 points ahead of Luton. We're feeling fucking Beautiful. But Luton Town, as great as they looked at times and as nervous as they made us as Toffee fans, today, man, they got their ass handed to them by Manchester City. And to be more specific, just Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne. If it was just those two out there, I mean, maybe not the 6, but they're still getting 4. The first 4 goals by Erling Haaland were assisted by Kevin De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva fucks that all up by getting an assist for the 5th goal. Mike, we're not necessarily fully in competition with Luton Town right now, but does this not just demoralize them a bit, seeing 6 goals pass them so easily by Man City?
Yeah, it's got to hurt, man, especially when they put their best lineup out there. That's a lot to see go by you. And hopefully crushing for the rest of the season. Sorry, Luton, but gotta look out for my boys.
Yeah. And for Manchester United, looking on this weekend and seeing this, you are grabbing something and hiding in a little corner to defend yourself because you're not doing well against this team. Newcastle beat Blackburn, but it had to go to pens, and then Bournemouth lose to Leicester. Leicester certainly sound like they're going to find their way right back up. Do a little bit of a roller coaster here, going down and back up. But Nick, the Manchester Derby is ahead of us. The Manchester Derby, the classic matchup of 2 historic teams, one a lot more historic than the other. But one team is certainly the favorite here, and is Manchester City, coming off of that huge win in the FA Cup, where Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland look unstoppable versus Luton. I don't know if Manchester United, after a disappointing result against Fulham, have really much momentum going into this game. You would hope that if Højlund didn't get hurt and they were able to get a win versus Fulham, this would be a clash of Manchester United coming in with momentum up against the big boys, Man City. But right now, it seems like Man City is rolling up their momentum. Manchester United is back on their heels here, and this could get ugly here. Nick, Manchester United, no Højlund, no hope. Is that kind of what you're seeing here?
Not only no hope, but like legitimate questions. Who the hell is going to start at the 9 for them? Like, they started that random kid. I no idea who he was before that game after Højlund got hurt. I guess you go back to him, play Rashford at 9, and now your wings are Garnacho and Anthony. Like, is that the recipe to beat that back 4 and Ederson of Man City and Rodri shielding? I don't know.
No.
I have no idea what the game plan is. I think your best hope, keep Rashford on the left, put Garnacho on the right, and pray that Onana has a day. I don't know. Like, Onana has a day and you can hit him on the counter. It is a derby, so I don't expect like a 6-2 or anything like that. But I think in the reverse, didn't Man City win like 3-0? So I don't know. It's going to be tough sledding if you're a Man U fan. Højlund was their guy who was in form, and now he's out. I don't know. They did beat them last year in January, so at the time when Arsenal and Man City were in a race. So I guess you can take some hope from that, but I don't know how you're looking at today's result in the FA Cup and having any sort of semblance of hope if you're Man U. It's going to suck. It's going to be, I don't know if it's a win-win for me or if this is going to be the worst weekend of my life having to cheer for the Red Devils, because obviously, I mean, it's fun to cheer on their pain, but I don't give a shit about Man U at all, like, aside from hatred. I want them to do poorly, but the title race is way more important as a Gunner. I want them to win this game. I want them to get a result from this game. If they lose, I still have a good time, I guess, but I don't know. It's looking bleak for the weekend. Might have to resign myself to cheering for a hopeless team.
Yeah, Mike, for Manchester City coming into this game, you're feeling awfully good. Manchester United, like we said, are a bit back on their heels after that embarrassing performance versus Fulham. When we thought they had momentum, it may have turned out that it was just Højlund finishing chances for them and getting them on the board. Manchester City have not looked necessarily their strongest in their last 2 Premier League fixtures, but after a huge result, 6 goals, gets the confidence up, and De Bruyne and Erling Haaland just absolutely filling the stat sheet. Those are the two players you do not want having confidence going into this game. Big derby. They know they can't drop points. They know they can't take anything easy at this point in this title race. And Manchester United are Manchester United. They are not an amazing defensive team, and they are not in amazing form. Are we set up for an embarrassing result for the Red Devils?
I think so. Yeah. Kind of surprised that Man City didn't rotate more for this FA Cup fixture today. But it seemed like Pep might have taken it as an opportunity to get some dudes in form, grease up the wheels a little bit, and it worked like a charm. De Bruyne and Haaland, Shaq and Kobe, whatever you want to call it, that's a dynamic duo, and I'm sure they'll take that into this weekend against Man U. Man U is going to be completely impotent here. I don't know where any of the goals are going to come from.
Gross.
Martial's not even up. It is gross, dude, but it's not going to be as gross as their style of play. I promise you that. Anthony Martial is not even going to be an option. He's still hurt, so no true striker available in the roster. I think it's time for Scott McTominay to assume his true position. Throw him up top. Let him battle with the boys.
I see the vision.
At least he gets some physicality. Wow. I'm not bald, but I might be a soccer genius.
I do think that this is just the stupid fan in me talking. But in my head, like there's a finite amount of goals you score each season. And did Man City use too much of them against Luton? Who knows? Maybe you got to save some of those for the weekend, dog. You know what I mean? So there's faith out there, Man U fans. Come on, we put up an effort.
I will say, if you are Manchester United, you have had a rather tough season. You're in 6th, so you're not necessarily in the worst spot. And everybody thinks you're going to lose here. So if you go out and you beat Manchester City when they have everybody clicking and scoring goals and they're in such a crazy tight title battle and this game ends up fucking them up, you've just won yourself the league. That is your guys' trophy for the season. If you fuck up Manchester City's season by a crazy result here and beating them, good job, Manchester United. You have done what you need to do. It's the same as just beating your rival in football in college. If you beat them and fuck up their season, you're feeling all right with your season. Is that not what Manchester United are just aiming to do here? Is just fuck up their rival?
I mean, that's the aim. Like,
No shit,
what have they showed zero accuracy this season for their aims or their goals or
But
anything.
if they do,
They can go down as legends, sure. I mean, maybe they'll finish 7th with this result. So it might just be all bad.
listen, sign Sean Mills. Let Hoyland tell him what to do. They're similar enough. Maybe he will continue that purple patch of goals for Manchester United. But let's get off that topic before we get any further into the Sean Mills discussion. I feel like we know what's going to happen in that game if we start mentioning Sean Mills as the only hope for Manchester United.
A miracle?
Just waiting on a miracle. We move to our loser goes home games. These are games that both teams need wins and are kind of really itching for some type of momentum here at this part in the season. Mike, I'm going to you for Chelsea versus Brentford. Like I said, with Everton getting those points back, they're now ahead of Brentford. It seemed like Brentford had some bit of momentum once Ivan Toney came back. Seemed like he was quality enough to get them some results. Not so much. Not so much. They've been losing quite a bit here, and Ivan Toney has not been enough. But it's against Chelsea here. And Chelsea themselves, the billionaire boys, need a result. They just lost a trophy. They're sitting in 11th. They need a win. They need to win bad. What are you seeing from this one? Who do you think ends up on top, and what do you think are the headlines to watch here?
I'm going to completely ignore the title of this segment, win or go home. It's going to be a draw. That's what I'm seeing from these two teams. Brentford has the advantage that it's at G-Tech. Yeah, it's at home. But they've been playing really bad. Chelsea's obviously been playing bad. Look what happened in the Carabao Cup. I like a few goals apiece here. Neil Maupay, he's going to come up with one. He has all season for somehow. more than Ivan Toney. Crazy. And Chelsea's just not going to be able to defend well enough, but they'll probably score a goal or two. I like a 2-2 draw. That's what I see.
2-2 draw. Mike, do you think the narrative on Chelsea changes a bit their season if they do end up winning against that Liverpool young side? If they get that trophy, is that enough momentum to push them forward? Or is it, hey, they didn't perform that well, but they got the win, doesn't really matter?
It definitely matters. I mean, a trophy's it's silverware. It's something to prove that your season had some success, and then it guarantees a Conference League spot. So you have European football. It's not the competition they want, but it is something. It's going to drive some revenue, and it's, I guess, a taste of respect, which they don't have at the moment. So definitely would have been an improvement on what they're doing so far.
Yep, I think it would have been a step back to that feared name that Chelsea had in the era of Mourinho and Conte, and when they were dominating the league. Don't think that people are really fearing them right now, which I think has allowed people to come straight at Chelsea and give them some tough games here. Nick, I want to go to the other one that both teams certainly are looking for result here. One team maybe more than the other. It is Newcastle Wolves. Wolves are only 6 points off of Manchester United in 6th. So they are certainly making their push for a European spot. They're going to have to stay consistent and stay in form to make that push, because they have to pass a West Ham, a Brighton, and potentially a Manchester United to get where they want. But I don't see that as something that is unreasonable for this Wolves squad. Maybe 3 weeks into the season, I would have said you're on crack if you think that Wolves are going to be in a European spot, because they look like they were going to be in not the Champions League, but the Championship. If you would have told me the first 3 weeks of the season Newcastle would be in the Champions League, I would have said, that sounds like something they could do. Now they're closer with a loss here to the Championship than Champions League. Newcastle need this, man. They need to get some shit going for them. They are not winning. They've spent so much money. The FIFA fair play is going to come to bite their ass too. They might be below Everton if they get caught by the FIFA financial fair play. What are you seeing from this one? And is Wolves the favorite here? Although Newcastle has that, I think, more quality in their side.
I think that's the 4th time you've mentioned drugs today. So
Listen,
you okay? Is something going on? What's it? Also, you said championship about 17 times, so that was incredible. Shout out to you for not fucking it up. I think this is my game of the weekend. I think you broke it down perfectly, but
wow.
These are two teams that wins are going to help them a lot. I have very low expectations for that Manchester derby, if I'm being honest. So I think this one is the one I'm going to have on the main screen this weekend. I am very excited for it. Wolves, even without Mateus Cunha, I don't think I've heard the update yet on how long he's going to be out, but they got a win's a win against Sheffield, I guess. It was only 1-0. Pedro Neto missed a couple chances, and he's their best player. That doesn't happen too often. But 3 out of their last 5 is solid. So they, like you said, they're 6 points off Man U. They get this win. I mean, Man U's not winning this weekend, so you're 3 points off of 6. That's a pretty impressive result, in my opinion, especially with West Ham also having a tough game against the Toffees. So I don't know. I think this is a really, really big opportunity for Wolves, and it's going to kind of define their season. If they can get this win versus a winnable side at the moment. Newcastle, you said it, is reeling. They look horrible. I think it can be defining their season. I'll call it right now. They win this game, they're finishing in the top 10, 100%. And I think they can challenge top 8 as well. So I think it's a big one for Wolves. Newcastle, I think you can argue needed even more. Like this team obviously just got dog walked by Arsenal. They look horrendous. They're leaking in goals left and right. Mike read you the amount of goals that they've let in the past 6-7 games. I mean, honestly, I don't think we talked a lot about their defense on Sunday, but more than anything, I think it's their midfield. That midfield fucking sucks. Like Bruno Guimaraes is a good deep lying playmaker, but he is not a shield at the 6 that you want him to be. And then you look at the 2 guys who started next to him, Longstaff and Lewis Miley. I get Lewis Miley's young and like the story is good, but if that's your starting midfield for a team that had Champions League aspirations, like that is miles off of what is good enough to be an actual contending team. So you look at Wolves with João Gomez, who's been incredible in that midfield, and a couple of those other guys around him. Lamina has been solid all year. I think Newcastle's going to face a tough test, and honestly, I don't see them getting a result out of this. Palmer jokes a lot about Wolves to the Champions League, but Wolves can turn themselves into some real European contenders this weekend, and I think they get it done. I like the Wolves win in this one.
Bro, fuck, this is our game. This is our game. Dude, this
This
is
is
our
it, bro.
time, bro. Look at this. Look, like, all we got to do, win this game, right? We'll fucking...
And win the next one.
We'll take West Ham.
And then with it,
Fucking a hungry dog runs faster, bro. We'll take West Ham. We love ham. Ham tastes great. We'll take Brighton. They're a fucking bird. We'll eat them. I don't give a fuck. And then Man U, they've been limping the whole fucking season. Like, this is just a fucking wolf feast, all right? We are fucking going to the Champions League. It's that simple.
Hungry dog runs fast. Hungry wolf runs faster. Let's go, boys.
For real, bro.
You guys will have a chance against those Seagulls tomorrow, too, in the FA Cup action. So beat up on them. Why not? I think Gary O'Neill, dark horse candidate for manager of the season if Wolves continue this
No.
upward trajectory.
No, but I
Hey,
can see him getting a job. I think if Newcastle fires Eddie Howe, I like Gary O'Neill there.
I think Newcastle
that.
might have to fire really a lot of their staff because, I mean, you can't go from Champions League and being so structured defensively to whatever the fuck you are now.
You
This is
can if you
pretty
have
bad.
a bottomless pit of oil money. Like
That's the thing. Is
gonna
that,
be
that
okay.
bottomless
Access.
pit of oil money is going to be paying somebody other than Eddie Howe to be structured and use that oil money. But I just think Newcastle Wolves is a game that just shouts like a 4-5 result one way or the other.
Yes.
There's
I'm so
going to be a
excited.
lot of goals in this because I don't think
No
either of
defense.
these teams are necessarily the greatest defending. And I think both of them have some talent in the attack. So, yeah, it's not going to be a low-scoring game, is what I think, is what I predict. But, Mike, those are our real back-and-forth games here. Loser goes home. Everton, though, if we were walking into this week without the change, this would also be a must-win, just like every week in a relegation battle is. Now we get a little bit more breathing room versus a West Ham team that I still think we can get a win here. And, oh wow, the win probability actually has
Probability.
Everton pretty like favored. Damn.
Hammer West Ham.
All right.
Hammer West
Google.
Ham.
Google fucking loves this. It's at Goodison Park, but wow, that was a big swing there against a much higher team in the table. But Mike, do you see it the same as Google? 47% chance at a win here?
No, I'm optimistic, but 47% chance, man. That is insane.
Dang.
Someone's got to look into that because that's bad betting advice right there. That's terrible betting advice. People are going to lose money on this. But I am optimistic. West Ham, I would be more optimistic if West Ham didn't do what they did earlier this week against Brentford. That was a shot out of
Emerson
nowhere.
Strike.
Oh my goodness.
Sheesh.
Emerson Strike was phenomenal. The cherry on top
It's
of
like sweet
after Jared
heroin.
Bowen. Okay. After Jared
You,
Bowen
you
hat
took
trick.
the words right out of my mouth, Nick.
We don't condone drug use on this podcast. Only the
Speak for
legal ones.
yourself.
I co-signed Mike, not Flex.
I'm a little nervy because of the scoring the hat trick. Lucas Paqueta being back in the team. Their best player, their most dangerous player. He's something to keep track of. And Mohamed Kudus is also playing at a very high level. So there are some weapons to be wary of. But I like how we match up defensively. I think we're a stronger defensive unit than Brentford is, especially this season. I like our physicality. And I like the fact that their attacking line isn't all that big. So we can dominate them in the air and limit their potency off of set pieces. Unless that is a James Ward-Prowse direct free kick, because anything could happen with that. I'll take us to win 1-0, reflecting the scoreline earlier this season. I think we could do it again.
Yeah, I think after that Everton draw versus Brighton, I think you feel a little bit more confident in Everton, more confident than you would have felt based off of the previous games before that. And West Ham, shout out Emerson. When the crowd usually shoot from 10 yards outside the box, you are an idiot to shoot. He went for it and he just banged it top ends. That's a moment right there. That was potential goal of the season. That was an absolute banger. Actually,
No.
I am remember that Garnacho had a bicycle kick, but it was a sweet strike. It will certainly be on some highlight reels. Going through the rest of the Premier League, boys, if you have anything to say here, let me know. But we don't have anything too crazy here. We got Aston Villa versus Luton. Aston Villa, keep beating down on Luton for us. Keep them down. Let Everton have a nice stress-free rest of the season. Fulham versus Brighton. Low-key think that could be a pretty good game. Anthony Jedi Robinson. Keep an eye out.
Karu Matoma ruled out for the rest of the season.
Max,
That is something to watch.
that sucks.
That is
Big loss.
not good for the Seagulls over there in Brighton. We go to Forest and Liverpool. Yeah, Gio Reyna could have a masterclass against Liverpool, but we'll never know. Spurs versus Palace. Listen, if Crystal Palace win this game, that's comedy. That's good.
Manager
That is
bounce.
good.
Manager bounce. Hey,
That manager bounce.
that 3-0
has
defeat,
gotten-
I think was pretty impressive. I liked how Crystal Palace played that back three and like also front three. I thought I liked the formation. As they also back this weekend. So London Derby, you never know. Hopefully the boys down at Palace get it done.
Crystal Palace has more talent than what their points would suggest. Burnley and Bournemouth, the two Bs. I'd imagine the Cherries can get this one done, but Bournemouth has been nothing but inconsistent this year, so maybe a chance for Burnley to get something on the board here. Obviously, just kind of consolation points at this point, unless they go on some wild fucking run. But then we go to Sheffield versus Arsenal. Man, if you are a Sheffield fan, take the week off, brother. Like, Arsenal coming off of a 6-0, 5-0, 4-1 versus Newcastle, and they're going to fucking Sheffield United. Yikes. Nick, how many goals minimum do you want here?
2-0. I'll take a 2-0. I think
Ooh.
here's the thing. I just can't continue. We can't win 100-0 every fucking weekend. Like that's not how this league works. And
You could
so
if you
But
were cheap.
imagine you do.
I mean it'd be incredible. 3 points. I don't care. 3 points. It could be a random Sheffield is up for a game. I don't give a shit. This game doesn't matter at all. 3 points to say tight in the title race. A 7-0 will do the same as a 2-0 for me. Unless
No, it
Emil
won't.
Smith-Rowe scores, because oh my god, I'm dying for that first goal.
You're saying if you beat Sheffield United 7-0, you would not feel any different than if you beat them 2-0?
I mean, I'd feel happier, but I wouldn't feel different about Arsenal. You know what I mean?
I would.
Like this game isn't.
I would.
This game's not going to tell me. This game's not telling me anything about Arsenal that I don't already know. Maybe there's some schmucks out there like you who still need convincing, but in my opinion, sorry, that was an unnecessary shot. You're right. There's no need.
Yeah, well,
there's no need to get mean there.
I just want to see Arsenal continue to put away chances because we know that they're going to create the chances, and they have created them against really everybody in recent memory. But if they continue to just put everything away, they're clinical, not wasteful against a team like Sheffield where they know they're going to have more chances. I think that proves that they're going to be pretty hard to stop if they continue to just put away everything, even in a game that they don't have to be perfect in.
Yeah, but also mentally, like, how are you getting up for this game? I get the title race part, and I get Arteta's a great
Stat
motivator.
pad, Russell Westbrook type shit. Stat pad, your shit.
Yeah, I get it. Listen, I'm expecting a big win, but you told me the minimum. I'll take a 2-0 win. It just clean sheet and the 3 points. I'm happy.
All right. We'll be here to react to the Sheffield United 4-0 win versus Arsenal. I have a feeling that Austin Trusty back there in the center back position will be getting a hat trick, and then he'll assist the fourth. He was starting for a while. He was starting for a long time, man. They've been rotating. They don't got much to play for right now. But we move to the U.S. men's national team corner, or should I just say the U.S. soccer corner, because our first headline there is that the U.S. women's national team loses to Mexico, our biggest rival, 2-0. What the hell is going on there? We have the highest paid women's coach, Emma Hayes, who came over from Chelsea, who's supposed to be the best female coach in the entire world, combining with what has been historically the best nation for women's soccer in the world, and they're losing to Mexico? What the fuck? Come on, guys. We got issues girls. On both sides of the US. Guys is a gender neutral term. That I'm using here. It's very messed up for you to be assuming which gendered guy means there, Nick, but listen, I'll give you the pass this time. I forgive you. We move on. Like I said, TNT had an announcement for us US men's national team fans today. Randomly, they tweeted, "Hey, everybody go watch TNT's pre-game show for the NBA." And they decided to have like a 10-second announcement of, and the US is playing Brazil this summer as a warm-up game for the Copa America. Hey, Charles, what do you think about auto traders? I was like, okay. Not much of an announcement, I'll tell you what. They hyped that stuff up. I guess they hyped it up like 4 hours before, saying, hey, everybody watch TV. But a Brazil friendly, I feel like, should have been a little bit more hyped up. We are playing Brazil. If you're on Twitter, that was leaked like months ago, but it's finally made official. They announce it now. They're playing Brazil. Mike, Brazil and Colombia going into the Copa America. I feel like confidence might be at an all-time low going to the group stage after those two bad boys.
Yeah. Or we get our statement win before the tournament even starts, and then we're absolutely grooving.
Mike coming to us live from the Bermuda Triangle.
Do I sound funny?
You've just been in and out. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Camping World Stadium. Where is this at? Where's this Brazil game? Orlando, Florida.
Which is going to have a heavy Brazilian fans there.
Do you think it'll be like best 11 versus best 11, or
somewhat close to it? It's a warm-up game for both teams for Copa America, so don't think they're going 100%, but definitely going to be some top tier talent there, which is scary for the US.
We beat them, and then we beat them again in the Copa. That'd be cool.
That would be something. That would be some momentum to go into it. I fear if they win one of these friendlies that the other team, like Colombia or Brazil, are not putting their best in. That will be a huge justification to keep Berhalter, even if he shits the bed at Copa America. But you always got to hope for the best. So hopefully we win that. We win Copa America. We go absolutely crazy. We win the World Cup. We become a dynasty. Is that realistic?
Really quick question, Flags. We keep shitting on Triple G here, Berhalter, rightfully so. What does success look like this summer in Copa? Like, if we get to the semis, but it's gross Berhalter ball, are we still good keeping him for the World Cup cycle, or where are you looking?
I think we need to, one, get out of our group and not have it be a shit show where we are struggling, not scoring goals. Like, if we have a World Cup type group stage where we are scoring 1 goal, 2 goals the entire group stage, not good. But if we get through, we're scoring goals, and then we get to the knockouts, and we beat a big team, like a Brazil, like a Colombia, and we get to a semifinal, or we get to just a big game against another big team, and we seem like we're playing a good game that we can have a good result and potentially get to a final, I think that's success. I think we need to have one big result and then a good performance if we go out.
Crazy, let me toss a scenario at you. Let's say it does look like the World Cup group stage, but we get out. and then we play Uruguay, Colombia, someone along those lines.
Uruguay.
Big,
Colombia or Brazil?
not huge. But let's say we play one of those, a Colombia then. Gross game, but we win it in PKs, and then we lose in the semis. Is that enough for you?
Maybe. There are like a few other things that factor into it. If he brings a good team, which he didn't do in the World Cup,
I
that's
don't
a
think he
positive.
can fuck it up at this point. I
He's
think
got
there's
to,
way
yeah.
too many good players to fuck it up at this point.
If it
Yeah.
appears that he's making in-game adjustments, which he didn't do in the World Cup, that's a good positive sign. And if the
What if they don't work?
tactics are designed against the opposition, that's a good sign. If they don't work, yeah, it's still a stain, but not changing, not moving from your tactics is worse than something not working, in my opinion.
All right. Let's say all that stuff happens and we shithouse our way to the final. Is that
Keep
proof that is that proof that like his bullshit works and it's just not very appealing, or is that just ultimate luck?
I
There's
feel like that would
always
just be our
some
talent.
sort of luck in a tournament, but if you get to the final, you got to give some credit to the manager. It can't be all luck. If he's getting to the final, I'll ride with him through 26. You heard it here first. Stamp this, mark this.
Dude,
I said it.
26 is a big one. That's the one we're going to. Like, I can't have the wrong
No.
guy at the helm. Like,
I know.
If he gets to the Copa America final, that means he has 2 signature results, which right now he has 0.
let's say
I think
let's say,
that
okay.
earns him
he gets to the final, but he plays a team that sneaks their way out of the other group, like a Venezuela. I'm not saying that's a team, but a team of that caliber. Beats them, and then has a big win, but it doesn't look pretty. It's a PK win in the semis.
I mean,
It's still good enough for me, man.
the thing is, Nick, I don't think they're firing him unless he absolutely bombs out. So if he gets there and he gets a signature win, like you're saying, even if it's grimy and I don't want a pretty win versus Brazil. I want a win. If he has an ugly win where it goes to pens and he finds a way to win against a Brazil or against an Argentina, good on him. If you beat a team that is better than you and you have a signature win, do it, because he has not proved that at all yet. He has not beaten anybody that the US is not expected to beat. I don't think he has a single one where he's been the underdog and won.
Okay, final question then. Final question. Let's say it goes bad, he gets fired. How quickly does Greg rehire himself?
That's the problem. Jay Berhalter is the CEO of US Soccer, so he's running it. Probably the reason why Greg Berhalter gets hired in the first place. So we're gonna go through another coaching search, and we found out Greg Berhalter is still our man.
Still our guy.
Last thing I'll say about Greg, you mentioned like ugly style of play or whatever, something along those lines. I don't hate it. I still think we can't really play attractive ball against some of these better sides. I just think there's still a skill gap. So if we shithouse our way against a few teams by playing scrappy, playing ugly, playing low possession, kick it forward ball, I'm fine with it as long as it's an actual game plan that we stick to.
So look, I'm not saying
I want to play good soccer against teams that we are better than, though. Like in World Cup qualifying,
That's
things
true.
like that, we have been playing. We cannot score, and that has been Greg Berhalter's biggest issue for every single stop that he's had as a manager. He was fired from Hammurabi because they had a huge lack of goals. They could not score a fucking goal for the life of them. Columbus Crew wasn't necessarily a prolific scoring team, and he didn't really have an amazing resume outside of he performed, I guess, better than average with Columbus Crew. But then the second he left, they did really well. I mean, I think he just needs to prove that he can have a system that scores goals, and I think Gio Reyna is, unfortunate for Greg Berhalter, going to have to be a big part of that.
Gio.
Listen, Gio should be a big part of that. Wes McKennie should be a big part of that. But unfortunately, he posted a picture today, or maybe not he posted, but there was a picture posted of him today with his shoulder in a sling. He did come off against Juventus, injured with that shoulder. His dad, though, said he would be fine, so didn't think much into it. was shown in the sling, says they're just going for more testing on it, and he might be out for a week or two. So, not good coming off of a 2-assist performance for him. And Orlando City goes on to the next round of the CONCACAF Champions League. Mike, I'm guessing that you were the one that had that one in.
Yeah, why not, dude? I think the Union are playing right now against Costa Rica team. I can't remember what the hell that team was. Also in the Champions Cup, but shout out to the MLS teams. Do your thing.
Philadelphia Union prospect to watch for the U.S. is Caden Sullivan. Caden Sullivan. He is right now, I think 16. He's playing with their B team right now. He was the best player at the U18 World Cup and is just wildly saucy. Scored a scorpion kick in one of their friendlies against like Portugal or Brazil. So, player to watch out for the future for the US. Well, I'll get into our locks of the week now. Palmer, let's bring up the table, see where we all stand. It's getting down to the stretch here, boys. We only got about 10 more games left in the season to be making big moves here. Nico moves up to 12. I move to 14. And Mike, you move to 10.
What?
You lose a point.
I got deducted.
No, you got deducted just like Everton.
They took my points and gave them to Everton. That's all right. I'll sacrifice
we
them.
FIFA fair played Mike here. He's been over budget building a stadium. My lock of this week, I'm going with Aston Villa 3, Luton 2. I think Luton scores some goals, but I think Aston Villa should be able to get the result for themselves. Nick, who are you going with here?
Little bit battered of a team, but have some confidence, and I have absolutely zero confidence in Forest. So give me Liverpool 2, Forest 1.
I think it's gonna be a higher scoring game than that. I think this could be like a 4-2.
That's
Double up on
that's
that.
like what my gut said, and I don't know. Something's telling me not to trust that.
All right.
I'm gonna alley-oop
Trust
you
your
guys
gut.
real quick here. Do any of you also write Forest with 2 R's and then have to remember that that's not how you write Forest? Because it happens.
You're using a hard R?
No, dude, it's a double R.
What?
It's the R. You know,
You're using a lot of hard R's?
Liverpool versus Forest.
Softer.
Oh, Palmer is our bilingual host. Mike, do you have your lock en español, por favor?
Manchester Derby. See? I'm taking
Sí,
City
verdad.
3-0. Sí, verdad. Manchester City's going to walk away
3-0.
with all 3 points and with 3 goals. 3-0.
3-0?
Clip it.
3-0.
Clip only the first part. Nothing else. That's the entire clip.
Manchester Derby. See?
All right.
That's
If
it.
that wasn't as out of pocket and offensive as you guys needed, we do have a question with Party P to close us off. All right, Pete, take it away.
All right, boys. So
Listen.
we got some big egos in this crew. I think that there's a bit of overconfidence that we've shown in past segments. Something to do with fighting gorillas or how many geese.
You showed underconfidence, actually. That's
Yeah.
fine.
So my question
We
is,
showed the appropriate confidence.
shooting. We'll go one of you. We'll go each of you one at a time, right? Shooting from the outside the 18. How many shots would it take each of you to score on a Premier League keeper?
Oh, Jesus. This is like a Chris MD video right here.
Outside the
Edward
18.
Mendy?
No wall.
I can choose Mendy?
Outside the 18. I couldn't decide on the wall, so I'll have you guys decide on that.
Let's do no
No
wall.
shot. If there's a wall, we're not making it.
Oh, no.
That is a Jersey Jerry challenge. We'll be there for a day and a half.
There's no chance I could do it with a wall. I don't know how many attempts, but I think I could get out of there in like 20 minutes.
that
If you have
seems
not
awful
stopped-
quick.
If
Ball's being rolled in, shooting nonstop. I think.
If I
No,
can
dead
pick the
balls.
keeper. If I can pick the keeper.
No. These three rotate. So you have one shot with Ederson, then Allison comes in, then Mendy comes in. They
Mendy
I have
rotate.
comes
like
in
a
from
1 in
Saudi
3
Arabia.
chance. I would literally like toe tap while Allison and Ederson there and then only shoot on Mendy.
I just imagine I would hit one so terribly form wise that they would think, fuck, that one's going way wide, and all of a sudden it goes in, they're like, oh fuck, all right.
No, I got a good one in me. It's just not often.
It'll
It's not gonna be
But there's a good
consistent,
one.
yeah.
In there. Yeah,
You're gonna have to hit a
very
random
sporadic.
banger.
I could strike a ball, but it's been a while. Give me a week of practice, and then give me 40
Oh.
attempts.
Nah, bro,
Oh,
it's
week of
tomorrow.
practice.
It's
Shut
tomorrow.
The hell up, man.
Yeah, you got to.
Again, I don't know about the
Can
attempts.
we roll it? Can we roll it
I
for
can't
it, or is
run.
it from a dead stop?
No, dead stop.
Can
Is it
I
a free
stretch?
kick?
It's a free kick from outside the 18.
Oh, okay.
I might toss a hammy.
My legs are fucked up.
I think I think within 20 minutes, if I'm shooting nonstop, attempt wise, 40.
Yeah, I'll say 60 to be safe.
I really don't know the attempt number, but give me half
If
an
I'm
hour.
taking,
and
if I'm
I'll
taking
get
it
one.
right outside the 18, I think right outside the 18, if I'm just ripping some shots in, I'll hit one sweetly.
Honestly, it might be less now that I'm thinking about it. Give me 5
It might
minutes.
be less.
5 minutes right outside the 18. I think I got it.
This is a lot of
Ten.
bold
You're
talk, and I
overrating
have a
yourself.
surprise for you boys.
You guys have to hit it with some pace.
We have gotten Onana to come in, and he
One
will
shot.
be and he will be keeping against
I
the
don't even
three
have
of
to take
you
a shot.
next
I'll
weekend
actually
in
roll
LA.
it in.
We got Pedro Neto to be in goal.
Neto. I would
One
trust
shot.
Pedro Neto in goal more than Onana.
Mike, you could get one. I don't think it. If we're just there's no wall. If there's a wall, I have no chance. But if I'm just like 5 feet outside of the 18, I line up a row of balls and I start hitting them. I'm gonna hit one. Like one. I'll get lucky, but I'm gonna hit one.
I don't know, dude. I think the factor here is you might hit a well-placed shot, but you have to put some freaking zip on it to get past one of these guys. So you're going to
But I
need a
think-
well-placed, hard shot.
If you've watched YouTube challenge videos, if that has taught me anything of watching Sidemen videos of retired goalkeepers, if some of these people can hit in some goals against them, I feel like
Those guys are clowns. Yeah, we could do this.
But Chris Abdi
against the next one.
plays soccer for a living. and
No,
Ben Foster
I'm not talking about
is
Chris
a
MD. I'm
washed-up
talking about the
goalkeeper.
people like Chris MD brings on to shoot that are like god awful, but all of a sudden hit a banger. And you're like, what the fuck is that? I think we could do that.
All right.
All right, how many do you think? I
15
would
attempts. 1,000.
A lot.
Funny, you. I don't think you'd get one in if I'm being honest.
I've seen you hit a ball, Bear.
Bro, I could get one.
I don't know. You just smashed the absolute shit out of it.
Yeah, dude.
For
I'd
an
just
hour
fucking
straight.
put
You're
some-
getting one in.
I'd
don't
put
think-
some lightning
I don't
behind
think Palmer can smash the shit out of it. Like his
it. Bro,
foot will
don't
not
fucking
make the correct
disrespect me
contact.
that bad. Jesus.
Couple toe
Listen.
balls.
Yeah, if he doesn't know where it's going, the goalie doesn't either. It's anybody's game.
That's a good rule.
I don't know, bro.
Get some crazy knuckle on that thing with the toe ball. Sheesh.
Damn, you're
That might be
using
a
your
good
knuckles.
strategy. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
you don't. It's America, man.
Knuckle
You
ball
curl your
technique.
toes in your foot.
I practice hitting knuckleballs more than I did passing my left foot. So that's all you need to know.
You gotta get the valve right, yeah. Old
Got to get the
Mason Mount
valve
video.
and the Ronaldo run up. 5 steps. Stand on your tippies.
By the
I've been
way,
doing
if
that
the ball
every
is
single shot.
if the ball is passed to me, 10 shots.
Oh yeah, it's just a rocket.
First, just one
Bang
time.
one in. Bang
Or
one
you're
in.
hitting
5 shots.
10 of them into the parking lot before you hit one on target.
Slow pass.
Mike's hitting 50 of them into the next county before he gets one on target. This man playing
Full kick
indoor
specialist.
soccer hit it into other buildings.
I remember.
Mike is a
Put a little swaz on it, mate. Put a little swaz on it.
his
I forgot
swag
how funny it
shot
was to watch Mike play indoor and just tee one up.
He went up
Oh,
into
good.
Rose.
It's either a bang or it's gone, dude. Those are the two options.
Hey, to be fair, there were some bangs. There was some.
That's all he was going for, is just the 1 or 2 highlights. We will talk more of Mike Tracy highlight reel plays from IM Soccer back in the day, along with, I suppose, we talk about the Premier League in our next pod. But we know what you
we have
guys are
time.
here for. We will get into the scorpion kicks, the Trivellas, the balls that go 50 feet over the net in an indoors field. We will get into all of that next time. But Mike, you are the man of the hour. How are we closing this out? What do you want our people to remember here?
4 points back. That's all we need. Up the Toffs.
Luton is dead. And on a better note, Everton are goddamn living. Nick,
We're alive.
final thoughts before you go into your 6-0 win versus Sheffield.
Listen, up the Arsenal. Let's go, boys. Let's have a weekend.
All right, up the Gooners, up the Toffees. A good weekend for both, hopefully ahead. And until next time, peace.